Good morning, everyone. Welcome back to Namaste Village on this, well, cloudy but beautiful Monday morning. Let's just take a deep breath together. Become present to that sacred presence of now, right now. Just breathe in this now moment. And as you do, just feel the energy of Namaste. The energy of Namaste. Whatever that means to you. Whatever that feels like to you. Maybe it's more of an energy or a pulse than it is an intellectual concept. Maybe it's like music. Like the scent of a flower. Namaste. As we release our hold on the concepts and dive into the reality, we feel and know things differently. It's not a thought, it's an energy, it's a reality. So Namaste becomes a living, breathing, vibrating reality. So, let me tell you what we're going to do today. We're going to do something a little bit different. So, Vicky and Calico and I are going to play a kind of a game, which means that we're going to ask each other questions. So I'm going to ask Vicky a question now, and Vicky will share from her heart, and then Vicky will ask Calico a question. Calico will do the same. Calico will ask me a question. Maybe we'll see how long it goes, 1 or 2 rounds. I thought it would be fun just to mix it up so we can feel the energy in different ways, different angles. So I'm going to begin with our dear sister, Vicky. Vicky, good morning to you.
Good morning, Brother James.
So good to see you.
You too.
So I'm just going to start off by asking you, what does Namaste feel like to you? Not the concept, but what does it feel like?
It feels like relax and let it all be. Let it go. Just relax. Namaste is the end of effort to me. It's the end of any effort at all. Just relax. Peace is, God is, I am. Thank you, God. Namaste. That's it. Simple.
It's funny how when you're describing the energy, there are fewer words. If we were to want to discuss the concept, we could say, well, in the Hindu tradition, and we could talk about all these different references to the past or to other. But when you're just sharing the feeling, as you just did, Vicky, what is there to say other than this open, expansive beauty? Anything else you'd like to share about that, Vic?
No, Brother James, that's not at all. The biggest feeling experience is one of relax, that there's no burden. Not everything is cared for and taken care of. Relax and enjoy being.
Relax. Beautiful. All right, Vicky. So now you are going to ask Calico a question, and then we'll go.
Okay, okie dokie.
Right.
Okay, Calico. Calico. Let's see. What lights your heart up today? Just right now. What opens your heart and lights it up?
You're muted.
Calico, are you muted?
Hang on, I'm here.
There she
Now
is.
the video. There we go. This conversation right now is my moment of now, and it brings me the peace of God. And it's just joining with others that have that as their priority. And it transcends any earthly idea of anything else going on. Yeah.
It's good.
Thank you. So
Hey,
Jane,
Calico, thank you. Transcends anything that's going on. That says it all too. Thank you.
so James, I've got a question for you.
yes.
What has been your most challenging forgiveness opportunity?
Oh boy. Boy, we're diving right in for a Monday morning, aren't we?
Could you repeat the question?
What would be, how would I describe my most challenging forgiveness opportunity? Well, the first thing that comes into my mind was when my former wife, Linda, Angela's mom, was killed in Chicago. That's an obvious choice. And it was a very interesting experience for me because I felt like, in spite of the great trauma, the forgiveness actually came relatively quickly. Now, we never found the men who did this, so I never had a focus on who to forgive, like sitting in a courtroom or anything like that. But I felt wave after wave of concern, blessing for these men, that they could be so deeply wounded that they could commit such a crime. So that's the obvious answer. But I want to also go for the unobvious answer. Whenever I come across someone who stirs my angst or triggers that unhealed split mind that we are all challenging and loving and blessing and releasing, that would be it. Just like you said, Calico, this moment. It would be whatever that is in the moment. It could be something that happens here at Namaste. It could be something that someone says to me that sparks me or triggers me. But the real question is, what do I do then? And hopefully, usually, I notice it. I realize that it has nothing to do with what's going on out here. It has nothing to do with the person who seems to be triggering whatever it is that appears to be the case. And I can immediately bring it back. Forgiveness is constantly the experience of bringing it back to the I am. Because when I realize that I am whole, I am perfect, I am complete, I am the holy, perfect child of God, then anytime I'm triggered, it's just me forgetting that, projecting out here, trying to make separation real by acknowledging that someone has done something to me. And it's probably going to happen 3 times today. That would be good. That would be a good day. But I am getting much better at recognizing when it happens and immediately bringing back to say, what do I really want? More than anything, what do I really want? I want the peace of God. And the willingness to then just bring it back to realize that there's no one out there to forgive. But if I recognize that I am only forgiving myself for a mad, crazy idea that was impossible from the beginning, then I can really heal on a deeper level. So that's what it means to me. So now it's my turn. Vicki, I'm going to come back to you again. How would you describe grace? What does grace mean to you?
Thank you, Brother James. Grace means love in action to me. It means the flow of God's love penetrating and being available everywhere and everything wherever it isn't interrupted. It's grace is the natural state that I feel oneness is, that sense of unity is, that's all pervasive, and it's love. So another name for grace would be love. Wherever there's an interference by, it's always only me, by trying to fix or change or judge it, I cut it off. And so my practice or my attention goes on staying receptive and open, especially when something triggers me. Because I trust that grace flows through everything and brings a natural divine order to everything. So grace is God's love in action. That's it.
Beautiful.
Oh, calico. Okay. Oh, I don't have any questions. Let's see. Calico. Okay. Calico. Big lesson I learned from Big Teddy after he passed was not to effort. And I'm very aware of that. Do you find anything in your life today that you are efforting on or with? And then how do you deal with that?
Great question. Yeah. You know, I kind of go back to James's response. There are moments that I effort, and at this point in my life, it usually has to do around body symptoms. And when they first occur, there's a moment of, oh, that can't be right. And then it's an immediate correction for me, because it happens so often that it's an immediate correction in my mind of, where's God? You know, who am I making wrong? Where am I not loving? And, you know, I'm just going to respond a little differently to this, because last Thursday, oh, I'm calling it COVID. I don't know what it is. But the day before Wednesday, it was a day, one of those days that just lots of little aggravations were coming into my mind. Tiny ones, nothing big, just annoyances. And then the very next day, I get sick. And it's kind of like, that's where I'm not loving. It's to make that immediate correction before I start taking it out on my body with some kind of illness or new symptom. And so it's going back to those little, and I've been doing this for the past few days, going back to those little aggravations, you know, why do they need to say that? Why are they talking about that? I mean, it's just, I mean, now I can laugh at it, but it was really kind of annoying on Wednesday. And it was like, and it just kept coming and coming and coming. So yes, I mean, I effort, but the effort is much different, because I know what the correction is, just like James was saying. It's not out there, doesn't live out there. The annoyances are here. And it's like to come in terms with, okay, where am I annoying myself once again? Where am I making myself wrong once again? Where am I not loving my body? Where am I not seeing myself as a completely lovable person? Those are the ones that are the most challenging for me. So thank you. Yeah. Yeah, I kind of would like to keep going with that. And James, I'm going to ask you the same thing. You know, where do you find familiar aggravations coming up again and again? And how do you see that changing? Like, you know, how does that appear to you?
Such a good question. And I'll tell you what immediately comes to mind, because that's usually what it is. Why aren't they getting this? Bring it back. Why aren't I getting this? Yeah. When like you were saying, Calico, when you hear someone talking or spreading rumors or just having, like, one of my first thoughts is, what, they live in a spiritual community. Why aren't they getting that it's all their own mind? Oh, wait a minute. Wait a minute. It's all my mind. See, that's the truth. As soon as I point my finger and say, wait a minute, how about, it's really always, 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 always me. And it's something for me to look at, for something for me to claim. And the fact is, when we do become habitual in bringing it back, we get lighter and happier and brighter, and we don't have to do it as much. We just live in this place of peace, and it doesn't matter. People can be doing whatever they're doing out here. It doesn't matter.
It's effortless.
Yeah, it becomes effortless. So that's the answer. Now we're going to shift gears a little bit. We're going to do this once with the Namaste community, and then I'm going to pick someone from the Zoom community. So I want everybody, we're going to just go around the room. I have a number between 1 and 100 in my mind, and whoever comes closest to that number is going to get asked a question. So you have no idea. So we're going to start right here. We're going to go down this row. Say a number between 1 and 100. 69. 57. You're reading each other's minds. 99. 34. 72. 28. 46. 7. Dean? 5. It's like, what's that game where you never mind. 59. 7. 56. 78. Okay. 82. 90. 77. 6.
1.
Someone had to say it. Penny. 3. 95. And 11. The winner is, oh, Jet, do you have a number?
I was going to say 2.
Okay, the winner is Sal, because the number was 81 in my mind, and Sal said 82. So Sal, would you come up and join us for a moment, please?
Sure.
All right. Our brother Sal is going to come up. Move this. Okay, so Sal, I'm going to ask you a question, and then you just share whatever comes up for you. What example would you give us that is reflecting perfection in your life? Something that is reflecting light, love, perfection, grace, all of the things we're talking about. What would be the one thing in your life that, or in your perceived world, that is reflecting that back to you?
Well, that's actually a difficult question, because there's nothing external that reflects that back to me, because it's an internal perception, but it's the recognition that everything is in perfect divine order, especially things like war, poverty, misery, and suffering, because those are the challenges. It's like, wow, how can that be perfect? War, poverty, misery, and suffering doesn't seem perfect. So especially those things, when I look out at the world and I say, okay, everything is in perfect divine order. That's a truth. It's true no matter what, but it sure doesn't look true from the perception of the ego. So probably several times a day, I recognize that everything is in perfect divine order. Not all the time. I'm in a human body, and somebody, I don't know, let's see, what's the last thing I can think of that wasn't perfect? Somebody accuses me of something, or criticizes me or something. Maybe for just an instant, the ego wants to get defensive, but then it's like, okay, but everything is in perfect divine order. And So it comes back to me.
Beautiful. Everything is divine in perfect order, including the fact that you were the one who came closest to my number, and that was the greatest answer we could have ever received.
Thank you.
Thank you, Sal. All right, now I'm going to look out at the Zoom audience, and I just want to see who is glowing. And you know who I immediately see? Don. Don, who is sitting there with a white shirt on. Good morning, Don. He's smiling. Don, would you mind if I ask you a question? Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
Okay, beautiful. Let me come back here. All right. I don't know what the question is yet, so I'm just gonna let it reveal itself. What are you most excited about in terms of your release into oneness? What excites you the most?
To be able to see the divinity in everyone and everything.
And how do you do that?
By seeing the divinity in me and then reflecting it out.
Exactly. And vice versa, right? By seeing the divinity in others and taking it in.
Mhm.
It's like a
Yes.
beautiful figure eight in that sense, isn't it? It comes in and moves out in a constant flow of oneness, as we heard before. Thank you, Don. That was simple and beautiful and perfect.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Yes. Well, this was a beautiful way to start the morning, start Monday. Just throw out the feather and see where it lands. And the interesting thing, I'll bet that if we really looked at every answer that we received, it was probably kind of the same answer, wasn't it? Everything that Vicky shared, everything that I said, or Calico, or Sal, or Don, it all comes back to love. Teach only love, for that is what you are. It makes it so simple if we can just remember that. If I feel myself getting triggered, come back to love. If there's a challenge, come back to love. No matter what it is, I'm watching the news and I see something that's happening that makes me want it to be different. Come back to love. Keep coming back to love. That's all we need to do. We just remember that, then that becomes the answer to every question, doesn't it? The answer to every question, love. And we will leave it there because that's all we need. We have such a tendency to overcomplicate things that need no complication. It's just a matter of love. So go out and love more. Go out and love more. Isn't that a line in Harold and Maude?
Yes.
Yeah, I thought so. What does he say to you?
Oh, Harold, that's what he says. I love you, Ma. Don't die. And she said, oh, Harold, that's wonderful. Go out and love some more.
Makes me want to just cry hearing that. For those of you who couldn't hear it, in Harold and Maude, when Maude is dying, and Harold says, but I love you, Maude, you can't die. And she says, oh, that's wonderful. Now go out and love some more. What more do you need than that? So thank you. Thank you. Have a blessed day. And we'll be back again tomorrow. Namaste.
Thank you.
Thank you. I love you all.
Love
Love you. Namaste.